Good morning, y'all. Hope you're doing good today. So it's early and I'm still trying to wake up, but I had some things in my mind, and I had just a short while this morning. I thought that I would film a short video, and y'all know I'm working really hard at making shorter videos. But I wanted to talk about selfishness and selflessness a little bit. And what came to my mind this morning was, we know that people who act very selfishly, typically, whatever label you want to apply, and I know there's a large part, if not all of that, is unconscious, but that's beside the point, really. My point here is that we know that very selfish people typically are that way because they have some sort of background of trauma or unresolved problems, right? And so I think that when you come out of an abusive or just a toxic, a negative, whatever label you want to use, kind of relationship, and it's when you leave a relationship or a friendship, or you get away from a family or family member or anyone like that, when you detach from a situation that's toxic, you have to heal. You have to heal. It's kind of like you can look back on your life, and there are certain people that you just parted ways, or you moved on, they moved on, whatever, and it was just congenial somewhat for the most part anyway. And yeah, it may have been hard to kind of deal with the loss of that person, but you move on fairly quickly. And then you have people that you literally have to heal from being with them, and so that's the kind of situation I'm talking about. But you can find yourself as part of spending all this time in your research and in your journaling and in your healing and your introspection, you can find yourself questioning yourself because it seems like you're being very selfish. And the truth is, maybe you are, but is that a bad thing? And so this is how my train of thought went this morning. It was like, sometimes you hear the talk about people who are selfless as being a good thing, right? But then you hear the talk about and research and everything into different psychological disorders where a person literally has no self. They would be selfless. So there's like a void in this person, and that's a bad thing. So it's kind of like, you see what I'm saying? There can be a good and a bad to being selfless. Well, it's the same way with being selfish. To be selfish just as a consistent, ongoing lifestyle is probably not a good thing. But to be selfish after coming out of a bad situation because you need that time to heal and figure things out before you make a whole lot of big life decisions going forward, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So call it whatever you want, selfishness or introspection, or a period in your life of being very reserved and withdrawn to heal for the purposes of healing. So I just wanted to draw this to your attention because you're already carrying, very likely, a lot of projection from this abusive person, this wolf in sheep's clothing you may have been engaged with somehow. You're already likely carrying a lot of the projection that they placed on you, conditioning from the manipulation in the relationship. You're already dealing with that. And so during this time when you are I don't even want to say acting selfishly, because it's really like apply a different label. You are introspecting a lot, and you're withdrawn. You're healing, essentially. Other people may, even inadvertently, or overtly and intentionally, it doesn't matter, but they may work against your efforts at healing by just flat out telling you or insinuating that you are selfish. These may be people that, not only new people that you meet, and so this is the only side of you, this is the only stage in your life they've ever been exposed to, and you may seem selfish, and you have to be willing to let that go, because they weren't there with you. They don't know your true essence when you are like, as an example, in a committed relationship. You know, you may not, for example, hardly ever look at your phone, but maybe ever since you've left that situation, you're on your phone a lot because you're doing a lot of research, and you are maybe you're not engaging socially with the world right now, and so maybe you have some online groups that you're socializing with. So I know you know all this, and this is just kind of logical, but I think it's just important sometimes to remind ourselves of these things, because I'm sure that, you know, when you're in those healing stages after a bad situation, you probably do look a certain way, seem a certain way out there to the world. And it's not just new people. It can be people that have known you a long time, but did they really know you? Were they really informed as to what all you've been through, and maybe they just knew you from a distance, kind of thing. So even those people, don't take their judgmental insinuations or anything like that to heart. You have to really find and draw upon your own inner strength during this time when you're healing, and validate your process of healing. And so there's good and bad to being selfless, and there's good and bad to being selfish. I'm just reminded of, you know, that old saying, there's a time and a place for everything. And there's just different seasons in our life. And so I just want you to be encouraged. I'm reminded of in the Bible where it talks about we must become as little children again to enter into the kingdom of heaven. And I think that's relevant here, because children don't like hesitate. They don't live their life in that way. I'm not talking about hesitating because you have a lot on your mind. I do that a lot. It's like trying to find the right words or what to say because I have a flood of stuff coming in, right? You're sorting that out and trying to spit it out. But what I mean when I say hesitate, little children don't do that. In other words, they're not self-evaluating every moment. Or like that book I've referenced a lot, you know, by Dorothea Brande, Becoming a Writer, where she says, you know, the best writers are the ones who, I don't know that she really says that actually, but she essentially says, she advises you on when you're trying to become a writer, right? You want to write a book or whatever. Her whole point is that just write your book, just do it, just get it out, let it out, because if you try to edit along the way during the creation process, it'll like make you stumble. It'll kind of like cut off that flow, that creative flow. I think it's the same way in our life. If we're trying to, you know, be super careful, it's kind of like you might think of walking on eggshells. If you're trying to just be super careful every step you make, which you can be conditioned to be that way, unfortunately, from a, you know, a person that is either controlling or has, you know, angry outbursts or whatever, and they need you to be a certain way. Even if they don't have a vocal angry outburst, they may have a negative reaction to you, like a very condemning look or whatever. You know, these controlling people can get their message across in different ways, but you can even be conditioned to just live in a very hesitant type manner. And then, of course, when you're out, when you're detached and you're free of a very unhealthy relationship, and you're questioning yourself, I think that's normal, because you're processing so much. Your mind's just overloaded. But where was I going with this? I think that that's a good goal to have. Just a seed to plant in our heart that, you know, we can kind of just refer back to that, to remember to enter into the kingdom of heaven, even here on earth, just being in that beautiful space, mind and heart space, in order to truly even be capable of entering into that space, much less share it with somebody else. We need to take that verse to heart. We need to become as little children again, and little children don't hesitate. So that means you're not going to be self-evaluating every step you make. You're just going to accept you're imperfect. And to me, it doesn't mean, I'm not applying this to lying. That's different, because that was the number one element from the serpent in the garden, right? It was deception. So that's different. But that aside, everything else, we can try and try and try. We're always going to be imperfect. And there's always going to be something that you're going to find about yourself, or you're going to find about somebody else, or somebody else is going to find about you that, you can pick apart, or that you can point out and try and improve on. But to try and live that way, every moment of your day, it's going to stunt or dam up or block that life force energy. And you don't want to do that. You want to free yourself. And so, there's a balance here that we have to call into the equation, that we do want to be the best versions of ourselves. We do want to introspect. And, you were catapulted into that, with this awareness coming out of this bad situation. And so you're kind of lopsided. You're kind of still imbalanced right now. And that's okay. And I think that the difference in people who move beyond that and people who don't is that some people take the time to heal, and some people don't. Some people just cope. They just, and this is easily observable with people who have a lot of narcissistic traits. They don't miss a beat. They don't miss a step, man. They're and it's, it says a lot about how they really felt about, the person that they really exploited and took advantage of and took for granted. The fact that they can just move right on with their life. So this is easily observable. People who take time to heal, and people who don't miss a beat, you might say. So, but how much time is needed? I don't know. I think that's up to each one of us. And I think that we just need to be patient with ourselves, and I think that we need to give ourselves a lot of grace. And I think that the people that we surround ourselves with need that too. They probably need to be, if they're in a good place, they probably need to be patient with us, because we may want to talk a lot about things to process. And that's good, because that'll show you who the people in your life are that truly care about you, versus the people that, just want to be around when it's beneficial for them. So you're going to learn a lot during, your healing time too. And there's a lot of beautiful, beautiful things that can come from this period in your life. It is hard, and it's important to acknowledge that. But it's not all bad. There's first of all the blessing of no longer being in a bad situation, right? And we can elaborate on that a million different ways, but there's layers to the blessings of it, and it's all mixed in with how hard it is and difficult it is to heal and process too. But just again, give yourself a lot of patience and grace, and the people that you need to surround yourself with, I think, need to have those qualities too. To be patient with you, and to be willing to love you enough to give you a lot of grace, and not add to everything you're already dealing with and trying to sort out. You know what I mean? So you'll get back, and it'll be a slow process, because it has been for me, but you will slowly get back to being able to focus on other things instead of your pain and the shock. The shock is probably the biggest thing, that you read about in the Bible, where it talks about wolves in sheep's clothing, but when you realize that was a huge person in your life, that's a lot. And so your focus is just so, it is very, I'm sure it seems from the outside especially, it seems like you're very selfish, and that's okay. You don't have to be validated by anybody else. But slowly you'll be able to start, focusing on other interests besides you and your healing and psychology. And well, I've always liked psychology, but your specific situation, you won't think about it as much, and it'll be a little by little kind of process. And so just be encouraged. Don't rush yourself. Don't this is my advice, don't surround yourself with anyone who is going to try and pressure you and rush you, because it needs to be exposed to heal, just like physical wounds. That air, when you uncover it and you just let the air hit it, it's going to help heal faster. And so yeah, again, thank you so much for coming along to hear the message. I hope this has been helpful and beneficial. I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful day. I tried again to make a short video. Let me know what you think about it. If you feel called, I would like to know. So thanks again, and I will see you again very soon.